Hey guys, how are you? Hope you're all doing very well. This afternoon I'm going to be doing a review of a thriller it's a joint venture between Chile and America. So it's spoken in the Spanish and the English language, so you're going to have to contend with a few subtitles, so hopefully that won't put you off. Released in the year 2013, directed by Sebastian Silva, and this film is called Magic Magic. And the story to Magic Magic, basically, it starts off with Alicia. She's the main character. She is under a lot of stress, so she decides to vacation in Chile with her cousin Cera. So she arrives to Chile, and Cera introduces her to her boyfriend Agustin and her other friends Barbara and Brink. Now Brink is an exchange student from the United States, and he is a little bit weird, but he seems friendly enough to start with. So Cera tells Alicia that she's going to have to travel with her friends alone because Cera has to go to Santiago in order to correct some issues with her school. So Alicia doesn't like this at first, but she accepts this because Cera says that she's going to be home before she knows it. So it's only going to be about a day that she's going to have to be with her friends on her own. So Alicia reluctantly goes on this trip to the very remote part of Chile, where she goes to the holiday house, and this is where she starts to suspect that maybe Barbara, Agustin and Brink, these three strangers that are friends with Cera, might be sadistic. And Alicia is feeling very uncomfortable in this environment, and she really wants to make sure that Cera comes back quickly because she believes that she might be in danger. So that's all I'm going to give you on the synopsis. What happens from that point on is a very psychologically tense film, and so if you want to know how it unfolds, please go out there and see this film for yourself. Now, my thoughts on Magic Magic. I actually really enjoyed this film, and I think the reason why I enjoyed it so much is because it was so unpredictable. You see the trailer and you think to yourself that you know where this film is going, but it takes a completely different turn. And for that, I really liked it. I love the fact that the trailer gives you an insight into a film and you believe you know where it's going, but then it surprises you. And I think not enough films do that. I think a lot of films give away too much in their trailer, but this movie gives you enough and then it completely takes you off guard. So if you think you know how this movie is going to go, then I would still highly recommend you check it out because you won't see where it is going. So I love the fact that this was shot in Chile. It brought back memories when I was in Argentina and Chile. The cinematography was beautiful. It captured a very beautiful side of South America. So whenever a film can bring you back to your past, then I think that's very well done. So it's a very remote area, but as I said, it shows the beauty of Chile and South America. I just thought that it captured a very claustrophobic, sort of tense atmosphere. I thought the holiday home, it felt like the universe for Alicia, and she didn't feel like she could escape anywhere and that she was going to have to battle it out. It's a very deep and meaningful film, which once again took me by surprise. I thought it had a huge impact on me, and it was very thought-provoking, and I thought by the end of it, I was left really, really shocked because I had no intention of feeling this way to this film, but as I said, it just had the power of the unpredictable nature to really get to you. Now, the soundtrack was absolutely phenomenal. It wasn't overdone, so it wasn't dictating when you should feel scared or when you should feel sad. I just thought it was perfectly done. The director allows you to make your own mind up about what's going on and about how you should feel. I also love the fact that it was spoken in Spanish and English. Now, a lot of these films, for the sake of viewers not having to read subtitles, a lot of these movies will just speak it in English. Therefore, the realism is gone, and I don't think it's paying respect to the native country. So, being based in Chile, I could understand that a lot of it was spoken in English because it was basically an American, some American characters in there. And I love the fact that the Chileans, when they were speaking to other Chileans, were speaking in Spanish. So in other movies they would have just an accent speaking in English, and it takes all the realism out of it and you don't feel that you're in that specific country, but in this movie it does it. So there's a strong sense of realism, nothing is exaggerated, and I thought that played it to its favour big time as well. Now, the best part of the film was Michael Cera's performance as Brink. This guy is a perverted individual, but the beauty of the film is that it's so psychological. You don't know if these friends are sadistic or that maybe Alicia is misunderstanding their intentions. And because of that unpredictable nature and that tense atmosphere, and you don't know the motivations of these characters, although nothing might be happening in a particular scene, you feel like it is because you're always waiting for that tense outbreak of either violence or misunderstanding, but it doesn't really come. The director lets you hang off it, and that is what makes even the boring parts of the film seem very entertaining because you're always expecting something around the corner, but the director feels like he knows exactly what this film is, very self-aware, and he's playing with you. Now, the end of the film will upset a lot of people because it does leave it up to your interpretation, but if you like ambiguous ambiguous endings, you're going to like this one. I love the way that it finished. I drew my own conclusions, and there's not enough of these films that have ambiguous endings. I think ambiguity makes a film very fun because you're always thinking about what this particular scene symbolised and what this other scene symbolised, and you're constantly discussing it. So not enough films do that, but Magic did it. So the acting from the supporting cast, thought Barbara was a very mysterious person, but my weaknesses in the acting was Cera and Agustin. Now, Cera and Agustin, they just felt like passenger characters. They felt like they were taking a back seat and they were just filling up the gaps. Now, Brink, Alicia and Barbara were the best characters, and whenever they were on screen you felt the menace. But with Agustin and Cera, you just didn't feel too much. You felt like they were lagging behind. And that's not a big criticism because, as I said, the film is very good, but it's those two characters that I thought could have been polished up a little bit more, and they just felt like they were filling in the gaps. They felt like they didn't have any real purpose, whereas Barbara, Brink and Alicia had a lot of purpose. Alicia did a fantastic job. I can't recall the actress's name, but Michael Cera is the best part of the film. His character is very creepy, but as I said, nothing is ever in your face. It doesn't spell it out for you. You don't know whether or not they have evil intentions or Alicia is just being paranoid. And that psychology in the film, it just makes it really, really interesting, and for that I really liked it. I thought it touched home to a few problems I have in my life. I'm not going to give anything away because it's easy to spoil, but it will make you think, and I love that in movies, and unfortunately not enough movies do it, and in this case fortunately Magic does do that. So I can see a few people not liking this film, but if you like your different movies, if you like movies that are completely different from the trailer, that gives you an impression coming into the film but then takes you off guard, Magic definitely comes recommended. I really liked it. I thought the pacing was great, and it takes a sort of director to make something interesting out of nothing, and that's exactly what Magic does. So overall for Magic, I'm going to give it 4 stars, and it's coming highly recommended. Alright guys, that's my review. Hope you enjoyed it. Till next time, keep watching movies, and I'll see you later. Bye.